at the Dome of the Rock. Now, you've all seen that big structure, the Dome of the Rock, right there in the middle of Jerusalem. It has no Qibla, which means it has no direction of prayer. How can you have a mosque that doesn't have a Qibla? Every mosque is directed towards Mecca. The Qibla wall is the longest wall on every mosque, and that's where you always pray towards Mecca. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, every mosque has a Qibla, but this didn't. And then he said, do you know that we don't have any reference to a guy named Muhammad at all in the 7th century? We have no biography at all from the 7th or 8th. We have to go to the 9th century to get his first biography. Have you heard this before? I start scratching my head. I hadn't heard this before. Well, in the class were 50 students. 25 of them were Muslims. They hadn't heard it before either, and they were not at all pleased with what they were hearing. And one after another, they got up, went to the door, walked out the door and slammed the door behind them and said very unpleasant things to our professor. And I looked at this, watching these guys go one after another, and I said, this is amazing. These guys have no answer for this. Why haven't I been taught this? And I realized back in 1994 that I needed to take this down, so I started taking it down to Speaker's Corner to try to test it. And I got beat up, I got knocked unconscious, my glasses were broken. That's expensive when you get glasses broken. And I realized that's the only answer they had, was to beat me up. They had no response to this.